Hello everyone, welcome back to the Back Post. I hope you're doing well with the transfer window slamming shut, because it slams shut, doesn't it, Josh? Slams
It very
shut.
much slams.
It doesn't just end, it slams shut. Uh, we wanted to do a transfer video. Who's done well? Who's gone where? What do we like? What don't we like? That sort of thing. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Josh, how you doing, mate?
I'm okay. I'm just going to apologise. It does sound like I'm just going, I have a puppy, look at me. But no, genuinely, he's had a 2-hour nap. He's a puppy. He woke up literally just as I was about to record with Jay. And he's not in a relaxing mood now. So you're just going to hear generic puppy noises throughout this video. And I apologise for that. But
Oh, you're going to hear... You're going to hear... Just the foot down.
Little ruffles and the occasional... so sorry,
good.
but hey, we're here to talk about transfers, not puppies.
This isn't the puppy post.
This isn't the puppy post, although that's a good idea. Let's pencil that one in.
I'm gonna write that one down.
No, so Jay, we've both had, admittedly, let's just get it out of the way. Chelsea have probably had a better transfer window than Tottenham, but we've both had good transfer windows, and we're going to talk about a few of the clubs in minor detail, but we don't want to drag this on. So if you want to go first, Jay, just talk to me about Chelsea and what they've managed to do this summer.
Well, with Chelsea this summer, it's been a bit of more of getting rid of a lot, getting a lot of players out on loan, more than it has been getting people in. We've obviously got the main signing in Lukaku, the big money move.
You say that, but that's a ridiculous thing to say. Look at some of the quality players you've brought in. Sorry to interrupt already, but you've brought one of the best strikers in the world.
No, okay, yeah, but of course. So basically, what my point is, we've not needed a lot to strengthen. A lot of teams have needed a lot. They've got areas lacking. We've not needed that. We needed a class striker. We went and got one of the best. And other than that, we've Saul got announced yesterday, which is another midfielder to stat that midfield out a little bit. That's a good player. He's a really good player, but one that wasn't necessary, I don't think. And then of course we've got a backup goalkeeper in Barcalona. But other than that, it's been about getting rid of a lot of players. I think Chelsea had 42 registered players at the start of pre-season, Josh, which is just ludicrous. So I think it was about
Very
getting
Chelsea,
out.
though.
It's the most Chelsea thing you'll hear, and of course we've not managed to sell all of these players. We've had to get some out on loan. But personally, I'm over the moon with the window. I think we needed a striker. We went and got one of the best. Lukaku's brilliant. He's already had a couple games. He's showing his quality already. I'm really happy with that. I think I'm quite happy to see some of these players as well, like go and get better moves. Like you got some of the kids that just won't make it at Chelsea, like Tammy Abraham, for example. He just wasn't going to make it. He was going to sit behind Lukaku now that he's come in. He wasn't getting much game time anyway before Lukaku came. So he's made the decision to go and move abroad, which is always a brave decision. He's gone to move to Roma, Mourinho's Roma, which is a bit funny. And he's doing well. I think they love him over there. He's already bagged. He had a great debut. He had like 2 assists, great game. And it's just, I'm happy to see stuff like that happen with some of the Chelsea boys just moving on, and because they're not going to make the first team, and it's unfortunate, but you got to come to terms with that sort of stuff. So yeah, for us, I think it's been about moving players on, and we've got a lot of dead wood loans though, which is a Chelsea thing. You got players like Drinkwater, Batshuayi, Emerson, Bakayoko,
Reading,
Kennedy.
isn't it? Drinkwater.
Yeah. Drinkwater's gone to Reading. Batshuayi's gone to Besiktas. Emerson's out on loan to Lyon. Bakayoko's gone back to AC again, and Kennedy's gone back to Brazil. He's gone to Flamengo. So, but I think these are the kinds of players we just couldn't sell right now, if that makes sense. Like COVID,
Because of COVID and
all those things. Like, we can't sell them, so we've got rid of them on loan for the year, which is just exactly what we need. We didn't need people like Drinkwater sitting around as much as people like to joke in pre-season. So yeah, I'm really happy with Chelsea's window, man. I think we've done really well.
This isn't an insult at all, but can I say one thing that I think you've done? I mean, obviously, both of us let the Koundé deal go, and that's upsetting for both of us. I think both Chelsea and Tottenham could have done with that proper quality centre back, and it looked like you were much closer than us. So that's a shame for you. But my real big regret, but I think you'll probably agree with me. Chelsea, I think, have made a massive error in not really pushing Hudson-Odoi to either go out on loan to Dortmund because Dortmund wanted him, or just sell him to Dortmund with a buyback clause sometime in the future.
Yeah, you're right there, mate, because we have so much attacking talent right now at Chelsea. It's ludicrous the depth we have in that position. And I know Tuchel's been playing him at right wing back sometime when Tuchel first came in, especially. But yeah, no, he's still so young as well. I think he's like, is he 20 now? You know, it feels like
I think it's about that.
Hudson-Odoi's been about for a while now. We came onto the scene at a really young age, so I think you're right there, mate. I'd not thought about that. He needed a loan, or he needed to go, to be fair, because he needs more game time.
He just needs to play. Like, if you look at, he's such a perfect player to put alongside Jadon Sancho, and now that Jadon Sancho's left Dortmund, it's such an obvious piece of that. Like, I know they're not exactly the same player, but in age brackets, in quality, it just seemed to scream a season or two at Dortmund. Yeah,
absolutely. It'd do him a world of good. Like, we saw what Dortmund could do for Sancho, what they're currently doing for Bellingham, even Haaland.
And I mean, let's not forget, Sancho just made the final of the Euros while Hudson-Odoi sat on his sofa. And even though I think Sancho is a better player than Hudson-Odoi, I think if let's say Sancho had stayed at City and Hudson-Odoi had gone to Dortmund, I think those roles would be reversed.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely, mate. You're completely right there. And, you know, you look at some of the other players like Gilmour, knew he was behind Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante. He went out on loan. Same with Gallagher. Same with a lot of the lads. They knew they were behind, so they've gone out on loan and they've gone for these development loans. And maybe Hudson-Odoi should have done the same thing. And I don't know what's happened there. I don't know if it's Chelsea holding him, if it's Tuchel holding him, if it's him not wanting to go. But yeah, you're right there, mate. I think we really could have done that. Well, he really could have done with that.
So that was it, was it? It was Lukaku, it was Saul.
Yeah, and Bettinelli, third choice.
And Bettinelli, of course.
Don't forget Bettinelli, mate.
Yeah, it's a small transfer window, but for a team that was so good last season, it's perfect because you're not rocking the boat, but you're strengthening. It's very upsetting that if you decide to rest Jorginho and Kante, your midfield can be Kovacic and Saul. That's upsetting.
It's mental. It's mental. I think it's really exciting. Yeah, it's really exciting that we've used, you know, the success of last year and we're going forward with it, because in years gone by we haven't done that. Like after 2012, we got Hazard, so that's probably a terrible point, but we haven't done that before.
After out of 10, sorry, Jay.
Out of 10, it's high. It's like a 9 for me. I'm really happy.
That's very fair. So it would be a 10 with that Koundé, would it?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, for me, he wasn't a priority. We've got like really good defenders, and we've got good defenders that are coming through, like Chalobah. So, yeah.
I could have played a drinking game to you bringing Chalobah up.
Mate, of course. When you see him play the way he did, and when you see him score and react the way he did, you want to keep that kind of guy at your club. So yeah,
I know. Yeah, that's very fair. Anything else you wanna say?
No, I think that's it for Chelsea, mate. Just really happy.
Cool. So Tottenham have done a bit more, probably because we needed to. But it's. I'm going to try and keep this short. But one of the main things Tottenham did, obviously, let's get out of the way, is keep Harry Kane. I've heard people say that we shouldn't have kept Harry Kane because now his legacy is tarnished, as if Gerrard didn't put a transfer request in, as if Rooney didn't try to leave, as if all of these, it's football. That people are romanticising it a little bit. I love Harry Kane. He's the best player I've ever seen in a Tottenham shirt, and he will give his all because he wants to win things. He doesn't care who he's with. He wants to win things. I'm not saying he will, and he wants to beat Shearer's record. So he's going to give it all. And yeah, he might leave in January. He might leave next year. But as far as I'm concerned, every game I get to watch Harry Kane from now is a plus. So I'm completely fine with
And I guess, you know what? He has a good chance. I know it's not prestigious at the moment, but the Conference League, you have a chance of winning silverware then. So it would be a bit more...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure I'm too fussed about that. I think we have a good chance of with the way Nuno plays as well, perfectly suits an FA Cup type competition.
Yeah, exactly.
Well.
So
that
maybe
sort of defensive.
it's written in the stars that he stays for one more year, gets you a trophy, the trophy you've so desperately longed for, and then he walks off into the sunset to City.
Yeah, good for him. I think one of the main things we've done, which is so important, is get rid of Deadwood. And it sounds very harsh when I say that about Toby Alderweireld, but he was 32. We missed his chance to sell him for big money. Lamella, I love again, but didn't cut it for Tottenham. Sissoko wore his heart on his sleeve, not good enough for Tottenham. Joe Hart, not good enough for Tottenham. Aurier wanted to leave and said that his journey had come to an end once his contract was up anyway. So yeah, cancelled his contract, might as well. Cameron Carter-Vickers is one of the worst centre-backs I've ever seen. I'm really sorry, Carter-Vickers. You're the reason we lost to Paco's Di Ferreira in the first leg. Foyth obviously moved on. Danny Rose finally got moved on. Players that just lightened the club. You got players off the wage bill that just were. You say there's Deadwood at Chelsea, but God, some of these players, like Lamella's been here since 2012.
Like you Tottenham desperately needed this. Like your squad, you think of some of the players, like you say Lamella there, Alderweireld, he's been there for ages. Like some of these players had been there for so long and just not going anywhere. They needed to go. You needed it to be a refresh, after what's happened with Poch and Mourinho. Now that Nuno's coming in, you needed a proper refresh, and it looks like that's exactly what you're doing.
Exactly, and like I'm a bit confused, like why Alderweireld ended up going. I mean, I'm sure he got a payday, but Alderweireld ended up going for like peanuts to Qatar, and you're like, he's better. If Vertonghen's still playing at Benfica, it's a shame not to see a player.
Surprised he didn't go Benfica, like because them two have followed each other around, haven't they?
Otamendi in the middle.
yeah.
What a time. And Tottenham have brought in Galini. He seems like a really promising backup keeper to Lloris with the not like Hart. Hart came in and there was no like you might be able to be number one. Never. We've actually signed a goalkeeper with potential to be our number one because Lloris is getting on a bit now.
Mm-hmm.
Romero was one of the defenders of the year in Serie A last season. He came as a bit of an unknown on loan from Juventus to Atlanta. Sorry, that one commenter. And he looks brilliant. He's not going to have the best start because of injuries, and also we've let him go to the Argentinian friendlies, so he's going to have to isolate. Very annoying, but he looks class. Bryan Gill, young, an upgrade on Lamella, hopefully, even though Lamella's hit severe flying, which is annoying. And Emerson, who Barcelona bought last season, loaned to Betis, came out and said there's a $300 million release clause on him and he will be at Barca for many, many years, and then realised they had absolutely no money and went, oh shit, Tottenham, you could have him for 30. So he's a really high-rated player. Like, he looks brilliant. His numbers for Betis last season look really promising. He was really defensively sound. He's a definite upgrade on Doherty and Aurier. And we bought in a kid called Papa Sarr, who we've loaned straight back to the team we bought him from, Mets, I think. So it is building under Nuno, and like I said and like you just said, it's Tottenham has just refreshed a little bit, and there's more to be done. I'd have loved Botman, centre back from Lille. I'd have loved Koundé, but you know what? On top of that, as a final point, we've brought players in like Oliver Skipp, who looks like he's been playing for Tottenham for a decade, but not in the bad way, in the good way.
Not in the Lamella way.
No, not the Lamella way. He's anchored with Højbjerg. Sessegnon might come through. Nuno's going to give chances to these players, and I'm a bit excited about Tottenham again. And from a transfer window, maybe that's all you can ask for. It could have been better because there's still strange areas of our squad. Spurs fans were crying out for Adama Traore. I wasn't too fussed about that, but I would give it a 7. I think we've had a 7.
That's fair, mate. That's very fair.
Cool, good. So that's our club. We're going to talk about a few. Like, we're not really, because Messi's gone to PSG, Ronaldo's gone to United with Sancho and Varane. We know all this. It's not worth speaking about. We know the transfer window's been mad. So, we absolutely love the fact that Atletico Madrid have just bantered Barcelona for 2 years and then bought Griezmann back after winning the league, after taking Suarez on a free.
It's just insane, man. It's insane. It's
and that
like whoever's running Barcelona right now is just so stupid. Like,
no, yeah, same. Well, I just said about the Emerson thing. Like, it's mad. They made a quick £10 million profit off it on him, but these are players that should be staying with them. And why is Aguero there? And it's just why is Busquets having to take a pay cut in order to register? I know why. There is financial reasons, but why? How has it got to that?
yeah, that's what it is. Is how has it got to things? Growing up, I love Barcelona. I idolise Barcelona. I think they were the best team in the world. They were the best team in the world, and it's just gone from that to this absolute mess. It's insane.
They deserve everything they get, though. They're scum. They tap up every player. Do you not remember when they just for no reason signed Braithwaite from Deportivo Alvarez?
Yeah.
Or wherever he came. It might not have been where he came from, but they were struggling for relegation, and Barcelona was there we just need an emergency signing.
We need a backup striker or something.
It wasn't even. I think they lost a centre back, and they just went, "Oh, you need an emergency signing," and then just bought him, and they were like, "No,
yeah,
that's not the point."
But yeah,
anyway,
the whole
Barcelona
Griezmann thing is just ludicrous, isn't it? Like Atletico Madrid are laughing, and also with that Real Madrid Barcelona not being as big as they are, that title race is going to be interesting again this year with Madrid now having.
I think it's Madrid's easily.
Yeah, they could. They got everything they need.
Going back, with De Paul as well. They bought from Udinese. They look really, really good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I cut you off there. What were you saying?
No, it's fine.
The final 2 points I'd like to say before I ask you a question is one, I think this transfer window, apart from PSG, really cemented England to be one of the top forces in the game again, like the top tier league. I think a lot of players clearly wanted to come to England this year.
That's a massive shout, that, mate.
I think, especially with the downfall of La Liga and the money problems in Serie A, Lukaku flooding back, and just so many players that have just popped back up in the Premier League now. It's exciting, and I think we'll see a lot of English teams in all the European finals.
Yeah. It's one of those, isn't it? If I think the last, I don't know, however long, decade maybe, Real Madrid, Barcelona, these were the teams that were kind of just bossing the European competitions. Obviously, in between that, you've had English clubs. But they had the big money, they had the stars, they had the Galacticos, they had everything. And now, you're right, maybe it's coming back to the Prem a little bit. Everyone used to say...
Or PSG.
Or just, PSG, not Liga, PSG,
just PSG
on their own, which is...
That's the only thing that's my final point I was going to say about this transfer window. We're at a stage now, Jay, where PSG got offered €200 million, I assume, for a player they're going to lose on a free next season.
Yeah.
And they said no.
It's insane, isn't it?
Mad.
It's absolutely... They don't need the money, technically, do they?
No, absolutely not. But, still...
I think
there's something fishy there, isn't there?
There's something wrong there.
It's exciting for football to see those Neymar, Messi and Mbappe together for a season. I'm glad he didn't go.
I think that's all they're thinking about, isn't it? They're just thinking about the views, the kind of the money that will come with those three playing together. You know what I mean? The amount of revenue that will generate them is probably worth more to them than Mbappe's
200 million? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Right, so we want to get going because we know that these YouTube videos are best kept short. But I've got one final question for you, Jay.
Yeah.
I've got two answers to this. Is there a transfer that's happened this season that's not necessarily the best that you just really like? That's a good transfer, that.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's more that I'm jealous of the player for the choice I've done, right? And it's a Chelsea-related one. But Ethan Ampadu has gone to Venezia, right, on loan. And I'm just jealous of him, right, because now he gets to go live out in Venice for a year. The guy gets to wear some of the pengest football tops we've seen in a while and just play in Serie A.
Not the pengest kits, though, which is unfortunate for him.
It is.
If he was there last season,
yeah,
Jay,
I mean, obviously.
You would have bought that away kit, wouldn't you, with Ampadu on the back?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Ampadu on the back. I might have to buy the home kit with Ampadu on the back, though. But, I'm just jealous of him. Man's living the dream, really, isn't he?
He is. That's good. I like that. I did really like that transfer, to be fair. My two... one's a bit of just fun, the fact that Wolves have bought Hang Lee Chan, who is just this pacey Korean striker.
Yeah, everyone's had him on FIFA. I was
just about to say, FIFA 22 is just ruined for all the Premier League squads next season. But a transfer that I genuinely really like is Salomon Rondon to Everton.
Oh, mate, don't. I think someone mentioned that. Someone mentioned that yesterday, and I was like, what?
It's just so fun. Like, it's basically like the spirit of Tim Cahill has returned to Goodison Park. And what more do you want than that?
That's exactly what those Everton fans need.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's it, really. It's been an absolutely mad transfer window. This was a transfer window, I think I said this in my last video, where, Perez came out and said, if the Super League doesn't happen, the clubs are doomed and we'll not see any transfers happen because there's no money and COVID has ruined our clubs. And some of the biggest names in world football have all played hot potato, or what is it? Musical chairs, that's what I'm looking for. Not hot potato. No one's played hot potato. And there's been absolutely just unbelievable moves right across the board. We didn't mention Arsenal, Jay. Let's just really quickly talk about that. I forgot that we were talking about this.
Bloody hell, Arsenal.
Let's just really quickly just say, what are you doing? I don't know if Arsenal have still spent the most money in the transfer window, because I don't know what happened as of yesterday, but it definitely went up with Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu looks decent, but what are you doing, Arsenal? Stop. Terrible.
No, don't stop. Continue being a shambles.
Oh yeah, no, continue, but also stop. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Brilliant Arsenal. And Tomiyasu, apparently, I saw this being leaked on Sky yesterday. Apparently, he was offered to every Premier League club, as in like an open invitation.
Yeah.
Arsenal haven't pulled off like a queue here. I'm sure he's a decent player, but Tottenham kind of backed out of it once we realised we could get Romero and Emerson.
Yeah.
And also, poor Tomiyasu, looking at like, where are Arsenal lads? I thought you began with an A and it's the start of the season. Should you not be near the tops? And what do you mean? Oh.
Dead bottom.
So enjoy your relegation scrap, Tomiyasu. I'd have really liked you at Tottenham because you just seemed like quite a good happy-go-lucky player that gets to wear all of those sexy kits that Japan release. But hey ho.
Right,
anyway, that's it.
That's it.
Tell your dads, the transfer window's over. I'm exhausted. Bye.
Bye. The dog didn't mess you about much, did he?